Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we gotta talk about a major breakthrough that happened yesterday, that Thom Tillis is not running for re-election. And because he's not running for re-election, this has caused a lot of change in prediction markets. And it's kind of interesting, and I kind of laugh at this, because now, ever since, let's just say it, race to the White House, they said it was going to be tilting Democratic. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? And I'm like, no, that can't be the case. Because, honestly, you gotta understand, put context to this. They said this was going to be leaning Republican under the weakest Republican, Thom Tillis, who, of course, is considered vulnerable, who was supposed to lose in 2020 and in 2014. And, of course, it's important to note that Tillis does overperform the polls. That's something that Red Eagle didn't give credit to. Tillis overperformed the polls. Now, you can make a solid argument that Tillis, in 2014, it was mostly because of a low turnout. But then again, Kay Hagan, 2008, you would expect much of a closer result. Kay Hagan is likable. She didn't just win because of Obama. If she won because of Obama, it would have been much of a closer race. But this was clearly, Kay Hagan was much of a popular, strong juggernaut in the said state of North Carolina. And Tillis defeated her, but it was mostly due to low turnout. Her base did not show up in that said election. But, yes, you can clearly see in this said results here, Hagan won most of the said polls. 2020 was going to be much more difficult for, of course, here, look at here, leaning Democrat, much more difficult for Tillis, as Cunningham was going to run. But the thing is, Cunningham was caught with a major scandal, a sex scandal, and you could say this very well helped Tillis at the end of the day. And thanks to the Trump cocktail effect, Tillis managed to pull off a good victory. And 2026, you have low turnout, and you have just a competent Democrat, not at least as we know of. While Willie Nickel, hopefully he has no hot sex scandal. Who knows? Republicans might get lucky again. There seems to be everything bad or something secretive about every Democrat these days. But Willie Nickel is going to run. He's likely going to be the nominee unless Roy Cooper jumps in. It's really, what will it look like if Republicans were to run? And that's why you got Donald Trump already endorsing his daughter to be the said next U.S. Senator, the Republican nominee. And this is a pretty good sign now. Actually, this is a very good sign. Like Donald Trump, her father has come out to endorse her. So you could think really it's just a matter of time that Donald Trump could just run in the said race. She hasn't declared, but it's possible. And if Laura Trump runs, it's pretty good chance that she's going to end up winning. And in fact, like Red Eagle Politics said today, it's pretty clear that Republicans got North Carolina in the bag. It's a very big low turnout state. Like, we don't have to go over the fact that Republicans won in every judicial race in the year that they overturned Roe v. Wade. We're talking about a state that is very vulnerable, that doesn't really have a stance on abortion. There's a lot of pro-life Baptists and evangelicals in the state, but there's also a lot of abortions, pro-choice people in the suburbs, in the big cities of Charlotte, and even in the libertarian countryside of North Carolina. And to have something like Roe v. Wade overturned, which I do know a lot of North Carolinians didn't like, you would think that a lot of people would go and vote Democratic in favor of abortion, but that wasn't the case. In fact, Republicans scored much as 5 percentage points and over every one of these said judicial races. And clearly, looking at these judicial races, you can clearly come up with the conclusion that yes, Republicans are the high propensity voter. Unlike in Wisconsin, Republicans are the high propensity voter in North Carolina. This gives you a good sign. We know that Democrats, they're based in the North Carolina, are African American. Okay, those are but although they do have it's not as the African American base is not as big as it is in Georgia. It's important to note that North Carolina is not a deep South state. It is somewhat of a border state, like Virginia and Tennessee. Somewhat like that, but the base is not as big as it is like the whole Democrat base in Alabama is African American, and so what in Georgia. But you also have North Carolina. You also have mainly suburban women, white suburban women, also making up that Democrat Party base. So obviously, what would it look like right now in terms of said election? You know, Laura Trump versus Willie Nickel race. We got to think here. So you would think, she's going to win. It's not. Then again, for all you nerds out there, she's going to win the same counties as Donald Trump did. That's stupid, right? That's just plain stupid. Number one, it's a year difference. Number two, Laura Trump and Donald Trump are different people. And even Donald Trump doesn't win his same old counties. So, and I would like to really look at the 2022 race 4 years ago, if that was going to be the case. The 2022 Senate race. This also was the big deal also. The Senate election in North Carolina. You had Sherry Besley and, of course, Ted Budd running. And you could clearly see here that, yeah, it was pretty close. Republicans were the high propensity, but Budd won by like 3 points. But still, Besley didn't have enough of the African-American support. You'll see a lot of these upper northeast North Carolina is pretty lighter. So, obviously, looking at the said result, I think that it's kind of going to look very similar to this election if you were to have someone like Laura Trump run, which I think if you have Laura Trump running, this is going to better help Republicans just turn out in general, where maybe you do have something or see something very similar to 2024. Obviously, I do think that Laura Trump's going to gain counties compared to 2020. Why? 2024. Why do I think it's not that Laura Trump's more likable than Donald Trump? That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is the Kamala Harris brat girls came out in support, and that resulted to a closer race. Okay, you had suburban women. They remember low propensity voters tend to do very well in these high turnout elections, like the presidential race. So that's kind of why I expect, like, if Laura Trump were to run, she would do better than her father, specifically because of the Republicans are the high propensity voter. The Democrat base will not be coming out at mass. They're not going to come out. They're not going to fawn and be in big awe over, over the said Wally Nickel like they were with Kamala Harris. It just doesn't work like that. So I do think it's going to look something kind of similar to that. So I think you could say and make an argument that Laura Trump's going to pick out the same amount of counties. I really do hope she runs, because that just basically helps the turnout. Honestly, Republicans don't really necessarily need to worry about turnout. And I think it would be very stupid and foolish if a Republican of experience didn't come out right now and run. I think Laura, she dropped out of being the RNC chair, co-chair. I think that I would say that was disappointing, but I think it was like she's planning something, and I think this was a conversation for a while. It could be alleged that Donald Trump was pressuring Thom Tillis all along to drop out, and this later, like, Thom Tillis just lost it and just voted it against the big beautiful bill, out of just spite because of that. So it could be, yes, Laura Trump dropped out for a potential run in said 2026. It was either that she would force Tillis out, or just run against Tillis, in which obviously that she would unify the MAGA crowd. And Tillis knew too. There's no beating Laura Trump. And Tillis tried his best to be MAGA, but we know that Tillis isn't MAGA, that he can't do MAGA things, and as a result, he knows that, so that's why he didn't even bother challenging Laura Trump. And I will tell you, that's a smart thing he didn't. But yeah, I think it's going to kind of look similar to the 2022 map, mainly, but with margins, though, I do think it's going to look slightly different, margin-wise, in this said election. But I do think this is what you're possibly looking at. A Trump 79, nickel 21. I think we're looking at a Republican victory, despite what prediction markets are saying. Prediction markets are stupid, really. They're saying that, Thom Tillis was the one that's keeping it right. No, Thom Tillis you're probably going to lose with Thom Tillis. I don't get it. This is just cope right here. This is race to the White House is coping big. And I don't know what happened to the leaning Republicans, but I can tell you right now, this is just plain bull. Just BS. Like, seriously. They don't know nothing about Thom Tillis, his electoral history, his record. It's just bull. Like, seriously, they don't know nothing about what they went through in 2022. The fact that, yeah, all the Democrats, the black Democrats, they're not just going to go and rush to the voting polls to take this seat. No. They're thinking, blue wave, blue wave, blue wave. Well, the Democrats are the low propensity voters here. And now they will say, Democrats will be mobilized to vote against Trump. Well, then again, you can't expect a Democratic Party this bad to mobilize these voters. And obviously, you have someone like Laura Trump, and I don't think it's going to be Don Brown. I don't think it's going to be Andy Dilson. It's too early. We're waiting for Laura Trump to run. We do know his daughter-in-law. Laura Trump, important to note, is not. She's not Trump's daughter. You don't know the Trump family, NSC. You don't know the Trump family. You're so disillusioned. But she's not Trump by blood. She married Eric Trump, so that's why she is Trump now. But yes, Laura Unaska, which I always think of her as a Trump, to be honest. But going forward, I do think this is going to be a good election year, a good opportunity. Republicans could put this in the leaning column. And really, Republicans just need to focus in Maine, put more attention on Maine. It's really determining a lot. I really, really, really hope Susan Collins announces her campaign soon. She might not. She might throw in the towel. She might say, I'm done. She's old. She's been in the Congress since she's in the 90s. It's a good chance she might throw in the towel, guys. I'm telling you. And if she does, then Republicans really, 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 really need to think of something fast. Possibly get Glenn Youngkin in and running. He is seen as a potential, hasn't expressed a desire to run. But the thing about this race, though, is Glenn Youngkin's young. He is only 58. Okay, 58 years old. He can get through this, honestly. I think he has, of course, a chance to honestly win in that Senate race because, of course, Mark Warner's just so old. Like, I mean, yeah, he's 70, in his lower 70s, but he's been there since 2008, like 2009. Like, he's been there for so long. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below, and as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.